Internet! Today I am here to talk about my TBR for this round of the Winter Biannual Bibliothon. The Biannual Bibliothon is a readathon that lasts for a week. They host it twice a year, once in the winter and once in the summer, and it's one of my favorite readathons to do. It's hosted by a lot of fabulous booktubers, and I will leave links in the description to the readathon YouTube page. That way you can find out more about it. But the Winter Biannual Bibliothon for this year is going to run from January 20th to January 26th. There are 7 reading challenges, and you are allowed to double up on challenges, but you're not allowed to put more than 2 challenges per book. So since I work full-time, I doubled up on as many challenges as I could, and my TBR consists of 4 books. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go through my books that I'm planning to read and then tell you what challenges they qualify for. So the first book on my TBR is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This book works for the challenge of read a book that was mentioned in another book, movie, or TV show. So it was mentioned in another form of media, basically. And when I first read about this challenge, the first thing that came to mind was Bella Swan reading Wuthering Heights so many times in the Twilight series. And even though I don't really like the Twilight series, I own Wuthering Heights and I've been wanting to read it for a while, so I decided to go with it. And I've actually already downloaded the audiobook for this from my library that I am going to be listening to next week whenever the readathon starts, so that way I will be able to get through this a little quicker. I've just found that when it comes to classics, I just prefer listening to them on audio instead of reading, because I just get more immersed in the story that way. I think it has something to do with just the language and the way things were written, depending on the time period, that is. So I'm looking forward to listening to this one on audiobook. The next book on my TBR is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. This is a YA contemporary story, and I know that there's supposed to be anxiety representation in here, and I've heard fairly good things about the representation. I don't know if it's an Own Voices account, but that is something that I do want to look into. This book counts for 2 challenges. It counts for read a book about a mental illness, and it also counts for read a backlist title. For the backlist title challenge, the book is supposed to have been published before 2017, and this was published in 2015. Again, this is another book that I've been meaning to read for a while, so I'm looking forward to getting to it. The next book on my TBR is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna McGuire. This is the second book in the Wayward Children series, which is a fantasy series about children who come back from different portal worlds, so like Wonderland, Oz, Neverland, that kind of thing, and kind of them coping with it afterwards. The first book, Every Heart a Doorway, takes place in a school where these children go whenever they've come back from their respective worlds, and this second book is actually a prequel where we follow 2 of the main characters from the first book, Jack and Jill, and we see what happened in their world. I've heard amazing things about the second book in this series, and I'm really excited to read it. I really loved the first book. And this counts for 2 challenges as well. It counts for read a sequel, and it also counts for read a book under 200 pages. This book is only 187 pages. I think they're kind of considered more novellas, but I'm really excited to finally get to this because I've been wanting to read the sequel to this series for a while. And the last book on my TBR is actually the group book for this round of the Bibliothon. Every Bibliothon, the hosts pick a group book that everybody that participates can read, and then they have a live show the day after the readathon ends where they all talk about the group book. And so for this round, the book is Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller. And this also counts for 2 challenges. It counts for the Read the Group Book challenge, and it also counts for the challenge of read a book you've never heard of before, because literally until they announced that this was the group book for the readathon, I'd never heard of this book before. I still have no idea what it's about. I know it's a sci-fi novel, I know it's YA, that's it. And I really haven't heard anybody talk about it, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. And since I'd never even heard of it before until it was mentioned as the group book for the Bibliothon, I'm counting it for that challenge. So that is it for my TBR for the Biannual Bibliothon. Let me know down in the comments if you're participating, what books are on your TBR, because I just always love finding out people's TBRs. If you have a video as well, link that down below and I'll go watch it because I love watching TBR videos. But that will be it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye!